Have you ever felt like it's difficult to focus in life and get stuff done in general? By any chance, do you have difficulty with schooling and organizing? If you know anything about mental health, you've probably heard about ADHD, at least once in your life anyway. It's a very common mental health disorder, and with it, many have talked about it already. So rather than repeating what has often been said, I'd rather give a more modern perspective on it now before the year ends. So, you know what? Let's talk about it. ADHD is one of the first mental disorders that I'd argue became mainstream. It's the one with symptoms that are noticeable enough for even the uninformed in mental health to feel as if something is different with them compared to others, but also nothing debilitating or scary enough to push people away from learning more about it. Since the world has become more caring and open to mental health issues as real and palpable, it's natural that ADHD was given a much bigger spotlight. This has been amazing for learning about its treatment, looking into the condition further, and developing acceptance of it around the world. For some ADHD stats that are more updated to show my point, did you know that while 3 to 5% of the world's population are estimated to have ADHD, a whopping 80% of adolescents and 60% of adults have admitted to experiencing symptoms of ADHD in the Philippines alone. Now, this can be somewhat concerning because according to the same source, 40 to 50% of children with ADHD have learning disabilities, with 30 to 50% of children with ADHD having engaged in disorderly conduct and exhibiting signs of antisocial behavior. And to add, 35% of children with ADHD do not actually end up finishing high school. To emphasize the normalization about conversations around ADHD, when you're on the internet scrolling through Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, or whatever social platform, you'll eventually come across someone talking about a very niche habit that people with ADHD have. These habits are often relatable and have brought up questions like, wait, do I have ADHD? Huh. This has opened up conversations about ADHD, its symptoms, what it's like to live with ADHD, and most importantly, how to cope with this condition. It's good that people are taking their mental health seriously, but it's a bit of a double-edged sword because many symptoms of ADHD are relatable, even to those without ADHD, which has also made it difficult for people to not only determine, is it time for me to finally get a diagnosis, but also just assume that they have it without getting proper guidance on how to go about that if they actually do, or simply just adapt it assuming they do, which then puts a bad name on those who actually have the condition. With all this in mind, here are my 3 tips to all of you watching, whether you have ADHD, feel like you do have ADHD, or just want to learn how to be more respectful to those with ADHD in general. Number 1, don't self-diagnose, but do keep in mind the symptoms you experience. Please leave the diagnosis to professionals and reach out to professionals when you're capable of doing so. Living with ADHD has its own set of struggles and difficulties, more so in a time like now where we're pressured to keep hustling and be productive as humans to try and achieve something more and more, never stopping to really just breathe and meditate and just calm down for a moment, you know? While there are countless tips and tricks for organization and focus, one of the better ways to cope is by boosting your mood and energy levels whenever you can. Choose something you can stick to by pairing something that you have to do with something you want to do, like working out but with a friend so you can socialize at the same time, or simply having a session to just meditate and to also listen to your favorite music at the same time. Combining these two make it all a little easier to manage step by step, so you can combine the healthy habit and something that you want to do all at once. And third, lastly, ADHD is different for everyone who experiences it. While there are a few common core traits and characteristics, a lot aren't as distinguishable as you might think. Not everyone experiences the exact same thing, after all. It's very diverse, hence why it's so easy to misdiagnose to begin with. I encourage, if you know someone with ADHD, to be a good listener. It helps you know how to support and encourage your loved ones who have ADHD. When they're having a difficult time identifying what they're going through or going through something and not sure how to go through it, the best thing you can do if you're not a professional is to just be there for them. And if you yourself think or have ADHD, take down what everything you think is a symptom within your life. Research ways you can manage it and if it really is a symptom. And lastly, talk to a professional for the best possible results so that you can both achieve it together. Your journey may be different compared to others, but that doesn't make your experience any less meaningful. Well, that's the end of our video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. I really enjoy doing these videos and I really want to add more of an awareness to this topic as much as I can. Although, yes, it's a topic that's been touched on a lot in the mental health community. It keeps on getting touched on and touched on and touched on, and sometimes a lot of information gets skewed out there, and I just want to give something that's a bit more appropriate and organized in some shape or form and a bit short. And by all means, I love doing that with anything mental health. So please comment any topic that you'd like for us to tackle next. We'd really appreciate hearing your feedback down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day ahead.